Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the American Dream Team podcast, where today I have my partner, my VP of underwriting, and the world famous Jesse Moreno here with
Let's go.
HomeFirst Mortgage Bankers. My man, thanks for joining me today. Now, let me clarify something. VP of underwriting doesn't necessarily mean that he has the most underwriting knowledge. But what VP of underwriting means is he has the authority in our HomeFirst Mortgage Bankers company to tell the underwriter what to do. That's the authority, right? So today, I want to talk about, I think a lot of people have this consensus, Jesse, that rates are going to be going down later this year, right? Is that what you're hearing?
That's what they're saying. That's the word on the street.
So I think that's kind of, if that's the play, the problem is, a lot of people have information, but they don't know how to maneuver based on that information, right? Okay, great. You know that interest rates are going down. So what do? Right? What kind of loan should you get? Should I buy a house right now? Should I not buy a house right now? Should I put maximum down? Should I put minimum down? So let's talk about that today, right?
You know what that's called? Sitting at the bus stop and waiting for the next bus. That's what that is. So you missed the first bus because I'm waiting for the second one.
Right. But what prevents people from moving? I mean, it's fear, right? And the fear comes from lack of knowledge. So let's see if we can share some golden nuggets today.
Sure.
Right? All right. Sure. So first, the first thing that I will identify, my thought process is if I know that interest rates are going to go down, what do you think is going to happen to home prices?
They're going to go up.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely, because you never have the best of both worlds. Imagine if you did.
We'd
have a line out the door.
Exactly. Now, something that's very important to note. I don't know if people realize this. Based on how much the interest rates went up, should home prices have gone down the last 2-3 years?
They probably should have, but it doesn't.
They should have.
It doesn't.
But did it actually go down?
No.
Why is that?
Inflation.
Okay. What else?
Let's see. Inflation. The economy. The war behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize is going on. They think it's just guns and troops and everything like that, but there's a lot going on between countries that affect our economy and causes fear. But inflation has caused everything to go up. PPP loans helped, with the inflation going up. The government doesn't just give out free money, and that's the way they were pitching it for business owners. So it needed to be paid back one way or another, so who's paying it back?
Also, from what I remember last year, people were saying they wanted to sell their homes, but if they did, they would essentially be leaving a 2.5% mortgage, selling their homes, and then having to buy an 8% mortgage. So it just didn't make sense. There's all this equity right now, but no one can really cash in on that equity because they can't sell their homes. Because if they sell their homes, they're going to have to buy something that is going to be twice as expensive from a mortgage payment perspective.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the play. Let me know if this makes sense. And then I'm going to ask you, since you have the experience working with the real estate side.
Let's go.
How to set this up. Here's my play. Here's what I want to do for my friends and family, right?
Well, let me get my mask on.
I want to put myself in a position where if I know that interest rates are going to go down, then set me up with the highest interest rate now, so that if I can get the highest interest rate, I can get the maximum lender credit, number one.
Right.
Because I'm thinking my mindset right now is the play is max credit, max rebate, max cash in my pocket.
Right.
Hold on to it, because then as the rates go down, then I'll refinance and then minimize my payments. But if I know I'm going to have a short-term loan, right? Being a banker, I don't know if this is, this is more insiders information, insiders trading, but don't hold that against me, right? But as a banker, if I'm looking out for my friends and family, that's why I call this a friends and family, a strategy. If I'm looking out for my friends and family, I know that I'm only going to keep a loan for 6 months. That's the worst scenario for a bank. A bank doesn't want you to take a loan out and only keep it for 6 months, right? So if I'm taking a loan out only for 6 months anyway, I might as well get the highest interest rate, because the highest interest rate, if a lender even offers that option, which we do, right, then I can receive a credit for that. I can actually get cash back. Okay? Number one. Number two, if I can somehow, Jesse, somehow, because I don't know if this is possible, but if I can somehow get the seller of the home offer me a maximum of 6%, because that's what we allow, 6% on an FHA loan, 6% seller credit. You figure out how to get a 6% seller credit for our loan, then we can use 2.5 points for that to cover all closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I don't have to bring in any closing costs. That's like
Right.
10, 15 grand on a $600,000-$700,000 house. And then on a $600,000 house, 3.5% down is about 20, what is that? 20, yeah, about 20, 25 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 6% seller credit, 2.5 goes to closing costs. So the other 3.5% that I'm bringing in for down payment, I'll get that back.
Absolutely.
That's what I would do. Is that possible?
At HomeFirst Mortgage Bankers, that is very possible.
Okay, what about the seller? How does a seller, right? How does a real estate agent negotiate something like that?
It's a grant. He's gonna talk to the seller and just let them know that the buyer is gonna buy it at the higher price. However, the seller's responsibility is to give it back to him in a form of a grant towards
Seller credit, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Seller
yeah.
credit,
So-
yes, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's go over that real quick, because I want to make sure that our audience can guide the real estate agent, because your realtor may not know that this is possible. But I want us to understand this concept today. That way, whoever your real estate agent is, and if we need to help you, I'm sure we can help.
Oh,
right?
we have a lot of real estate agents
But
that
if
love
your
working
if
with
your
us.
real estate agent needs this information, so that you can benefit from the 6% seller credit, because really it's the benefit to the buyer.
Of
right?
course.
Okay, so what you're telling me is, if you're a homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you want to get $600,000 as your net, right? As your net, or maybe gross. Let's just say gross, because gross is before they pay their real estate
course.
commissions, their taxes. So let's say you want to sell gross $600,000,
Right.
and you already have committed to paying a commission to the seller's agent, buyer's agent, all of that. Okay,
Mhm.
now, do you think the average seller will care if 600 is what you want, and I'm telling you, Jesse, I'll get you 600. I'll give you 600. However, I want you to help me out. The house may appraise for 630. If it does, and I offer you 630, will you be willing to give me 30,000 back? By the way, when you give me the 30,000 back, because escrow is only going to gross you 600,000, you're not paying taxes on that extra 30,000, by the way.
Right.
So there's no sweat off your back, but it'll help me out. And then if you do that, I'll buy your house in the next 8 days, because that's what HomeFirst Mortgage Bankers can guarantee with no contingency, because they can verify that that appraisal will come through, even though you only you will get your 600,000. But if I can bring my lender to close this deal for us at 630,000, and you give me that 30,000 back, that'll help me with closing costs and help me get a grant back.
Absolutely.
Would you be willing to help me? What do you think?
Absolutely. Yes. Definitely would be willing to help you.
How many real estate agents know about this, do you think?
A lot of them that we deal with know about this strategy.
How many real estate agents know that they can even ask for 6% seller credit?
Not many.
And how many real estate agents know a lender that can actually use 6% seller credit to benefit the buyer?
Not many, but if they're dealing with us and they're part of the HomeFirst team that they love to deal with us, they're going to know about that.
So
We
make
educate.
sure you educate your real estate agent.
Yes.
Because if in this market, you can't do this when the rates come down and there's 40, 50, 60 offers on that same property. But right now, the last 6 months and right now for the next 6 months, you still have an opportunity. If you can get your real estate agent to negotiate with your seller, got to have that conversation and have the seller credit that 6%. You can use every dollar of that, and and essentially it means you can get the down payment that you bring in, get it back, have all your closing costs covered, and on top of that, if your lender will give you the option of going higher on your interest rate for 6 months, you can even have your monthly payments subsidized, right?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So, for more information on this H1 grant program or how to structure a program like this with my partner, Jesse Moreno, VP of Underwriting, HomeFirst Mortgage Bankers, and with the American Dream Team, follow us and subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and comment in the comments below, H1 grant. Also, DM me on Instagram at AlexRockyKim, H1 grant, and we'll send you more information on the content that we just shared.
I want to finish with the last thing, Alex. One thing you said, 8-day close. For all you audience out there that want to know about that, stay tuned for the next podcast because we're going to tell you how.
I like that.
Let's go.